good feeling. This place is jumping off hard as it can get. No, we won't ever stop dancing on the edge. We like it dangerous, we like to see you split. Turn up another notch, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let me tell you something, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, let me tell you something. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Got a real good feeling. Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. I got a real good feeling.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's stream we have quite a bit to talk about. We are going to be talking a little bit more about how mining has been moving away from China towards the United States of America, and some considerations that you're going to want to look at there. And we're also going to be talking about how one of the biggest crashes in the future economy might lead to an increase in price in Bitcoin and gold. So says Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, one of the first financial books that pretty much everybody and their mother ever read, probably when you were in high school like I was. We're also going to be doing some technical analysis on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we might even have time for Cardano. But we have a lot that we want to go over in today's stream. I think you guys are going to get a lot of great value out of it. I am joined, as always, by my president, crap. I did not join his team. My co-host,
well, I mean,
and your president.
It would be a good time
Kinda
to join my
Crypto Tim.
team, seeing as that this bad boy is sitting on my desk all week.
Hashtag not my president,
And we'll find out today the chance. I mean, we won't know until Friday, but we'll
You're
find
right.
out if it might be 2 weeks in a row. I have some interesting predictions, and I know Jeb. So Smay and I, the predictions are in for Smay and I. I'm not going to tell Jeb because I don't think he has made his predictions yet.
I have not.
But we'll find out at the end of the stream. What is Jeb going to say? Is he going to bring back
We
a
shall
W to Team Truck? Because ultimately,
Team
like
Truck.
we have Team Crypto Jeb, we have Team Smay, and we have Team Tim. But it's kind of become Team Truck versus Team Burn the Truck versus Team Cut the Beard,
Chop the Tree.
Chop the Tree.
Courtesy
So,
of Joshua
you know.
Haynes, who is in chat right now.
Yep.
We are also joined by our illustrious one and only Smangatan. How you doing, Smang?
I like that you called me illustrious.
You are illustrious.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream.
You have a story to tell about what you're going to be doing pretty soon down in the Everglades,
well,
right?
it's not necessarily soon, but guys, I'm planning a trip to go python hunting in the Everglades with a machete, and I'm gonna or an axe, and I'm gonna chop them, and I'm gonna get a really cool Instagram picture where I smear their blood on my face, and I'm shirtless.
Jeez.
That's gonna be really cool because, guys, I don't know if you know this, but one rogue python in the Everglades kills 1,000 native species in America a day. In Florida. Oh, not a day, sorry.
A day,
In
huh?
a year.
In a day.
I was about to say that python's
Just-
busy.
No. But
That is a bear
technically,
market.
yes, too, because they
That's Python
carry
market.
all kinds of
Python
bad
market.
parasites that they shouldn't be carrying either. So it's good for the environment, and it's a really cool Instagram picture. So that's why I'm doing it.
Okay, then. Well, there you go. That's going to be Smay. If he doesn't show up next week, then you know where he
You'll
went.
know why, yeah.
He's part of him's in the Everglades, part of him's in the Keys,
that or the
part of
dentist.
him's in the
He'll
Gulf.
probably he might be back at the dentist.
He's either at the dentist or in
Yeah.
or in an Anaconda, one of the two.
Yeah, it's
that'll about it.
Smay the
Hopefully it's
Slayer.
same, yeah.
That's what they said. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump into an article here because we want to talk a little bit about mining. You guys know that a massive amount of miners left China a couple of weeks ago as China began banning Bitcoin mining in their nation, and we saw hash rate drop significantly. So let's go ahead and read this article over on Cointelegraph because there's several things that we want to be paying attention to following this event. Biggest ever mining difficulty drop. 5 things to watch in Bitcoin this week. Bitcoin network fundamentals reflect the mass mining migration underway this month, but Bitcoin price action still makes gains. Bitcoin started a new week with a key weekly close under its belt and everything to play for. Can it hold higher? We'll actually talk about those technicals over on Bitcoin here in a second, so hold tight. After the weekend saw moderate volatility, including a retest of $30,000 support, Bitcoin USD is back up above $35,000. Despite the negative press, FUD, and minor shakeup from China, the latest Bitcoin price action shows that the largest cryptocurrency still has energy left to fight. Nevertheless, the risk of further downturn remains, and by no means is everyone convinced that the market has truly bottomed. Now, this article about this point right here coming out of Robert Kiyosaki, we're going to talk about a little bit later, so I'm going to skip that. But we can see this, that Bitcoin sealed a very important weekly close. For the Bitcoin spot price, Sunday ultimately gave bulls the happy ending they had been looking for. This specifically involves the weekly close, which as late as Saturday had been in danger of materializing below low levels needed to preserve the chances of further gains. You can see a screenshot right here, but if we go over to Bitcoin and look at the weekly chart, you guys will see that we had a very, very, very long lower shadow right here. This is a really big deal. The reason this is a big deal is because this forms something that you might know as a hammer. This is important because it indicates that the bears tried to push us really far to the downside, and they failed. They failed, and the bulls rallied us back. Now, it was a red candlestick, but it's still bullish if you look at it through the lens of how long that lower shadow was. The bears tried, but they did ultimately fail. Another thing to look at here is over the weekend, we saw 2 green candlesticks that came up and rallied above this red candlestick. In general, we've actually seen 5 green days in a row, except for this one day here on the 25th of June. So the market is looking halfway healthy. If we continue here, we will see a record difficulty drop. For those who cheered Bitcoin's biggest difficulty increase since 2014, just 6 weeks ago, there's bad news. For some, good news for the miners. As network fundamentals struggle in the wake of China's mining shakeout, a difficulty adjustment this week will lay bare just how large an impact recent events have had. In 4 days' time, difficulty will adjust down by an estimated 23.24%, something that has never happened before in Bitcoin's lifetime. We're going to come back to this here in just a second. The record-breaking downward adjustment is a reaction to the mass offlining of Chinese miners, and for some, including those who are relocating overseas, it's a gift. Estimated difficulty adjustment is currently sitting at negative 21%, targeting July the 1st. This will be the largest downward adjustment in Bitcoin's history. North American miners are about to eat. So let's go to full screen. Let's discuss this a little bit. There's a little bit more in this article we want to pick apart, but I want to make sure that we go over just how significant this is. A massive difficulty drop on Bitcoin is going to result in more miner profitability. Now let's back up. For anyone who's newer to the cryptocurrency space, what does all this mean? Bitcoin's network every 14 days adjusts something called the difficulty. Whenever the difficulty is adjusted, it is adjusted to make sure that the block time of Bitcoin stays roughly around 10 minutes. You want to make sure that the blocks, remember a blockchain is a block, followed by a block, followed by a block, and all the transactions go in those blocks. Those blocks are supposed to be generated every 10 minutes. Difficulty adjustments are used by the Bitcoin network to make sure that the mining is just hard enough that that block time stays at 10 minutes. So when the difficulty is very low, the miners can make more money because the problems are quite literally easier. They're not as difficult. But when the difficulty is very high, the miners will not generally make as much money because there's more competition and the difficulty is higher, meaning that the mathematical computations that their miners are having to do is harder. So when the difficulty goes down, it means that the miners are actually able to make a lot more money. That's why this is a big deal. This is one of the reasons why this is a big deal. The North American miners are about to make a lot of money on cheap Bitcoin, which if they are wise, which a lot of them are very intelligent people, will hold that Bitcoin far into the future. They're going to make more Bitcoin than they normally do. While Bitcoin is cheap, it's going to incentivize long-term hodling. That is the first point. The second point is that I think, and I would love to hear Tim's input on this in a second, I think that this is a great stress test of the Bitcoin network. We have never before seen a difficulty drop on Bitcoin this massive. We've never before seen nearly half of Bitcoin miners go offline like that. This is a testament to the strength of the Bitcoin network. Tim, I know the audience would love to hear some takes on that because The last couple of weeks there's been so much FUD around this. I think that this was a fantastic stress test of the network. What do you think?
I don't know. Like this is something I don't know. I would love to have a great opinion on it, but I'm not a miner. The truth is I don't understand fully all the science that goes into the mining. I don't understand the full process of it. That is something I look forward to learning. However, from the research I've done, again, reading articles like this, watching other people talk about it, are we going to be developing a bunch of new blocks immediate future? No, we're not. But like that article is talking about, it actually gives an incentive for the miners that are there, and there's less of them right at this very second, but it gives them incentive to go do a lot of work and make a lot of money in the process. So I don't know if I can add too much to what you already said, because I mean you kind of summed it up, and again, I wish I could add. I wish I had more details. I just don't.
Yeah, so guys, I want to hear what your takes are on this. What we have seen is a lot of FUD around how much mining is going on in China. And this was something that we were not concerned about, but that we were making sure you guys were aware of. A very large majority, not a very large majority, but a very large amount of the Bitcoin mining, well over 50%, was happening in China. It is now gone. We've made that point many times, but I do want to remind you that that is definitely a good thing. Now, we're going to move on here in a little bit. We're going to move on here in a second to some news that you guys have been asking about in chat, because yes, Binance was banned from the United Kingdom. We're going to talk about that in a second, but I want to go ahead and finish this article. This is just a reminder, but we can see here in the article, global adoption drive continues. A zoomed out look of the state of Bitcoin adoption provides some welcome relief to the decidedly iffy spot market. As Cointelegraph reported, El Salvador has set off something of a domino effect with its law to make Bitcoin legal tender, which enters full force in September. I believe the date is September the 7th. Paraguay is next in line to bring legal motion before Parliament, with details yet being unveiled. In full, a legal tender bill was submitted on June the 24th. Elsewhere, despite no formal changes in Bitcoin status, proponents appear emboldened by recent events. Ricardo Pliego, I probably butchered that.
I mean, it was fun to say, though.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I can say Ricardo. I used to have a friend named Ricardo. The third richest man in Mexico, according to Forbes' ranking, reiterated Bitcoin as being the new goal this weekend, revealing his own contribution to local adoption. His banking business, Banco Azteca, is in the process of incorporating Bitcoin, Salinas confirmed on Twitter. Bitcoin is a good way to diversify your investment portfolio, and I think that any investor should start studying cryptocurrencies and their future. This actually reminds me of something that I was having a conversation with someone about over the weekend. Tim, I know someone who knew about Bitcoin when it was at $1, and they still haven't bought any. And they're hitting themselves because they wish they had them.
That is sad.
And I think they might be about to buy some. I think I might have convinced them. I didn't have to convince them. I just explained what Bitcoin is. By the way, pop quiz. Everyone in chat, in under 2 sentences, explain what Bitcoin is and why it's valuable. You know the old saying? It's not the old saying because, Twitter's only been around for less than 10 years, but if you can't explain it in a tweet, you probably don't understand it. See, I challenge you, in chat, explain what Bitcoin is and why you should buy it in one chat message, because it's under 200 characters.
I think, man, that is hard. I think if I had seen Bitcoin and had access to buying it at $1, I mean, let's go up to $100. Let's go to $1,000.
Yep.
If I said no then... If that person gets into crypto, into Bitcoin right now, good for them, because how hard is that mentally?
Yeah.
Because the rest of their life, they're going to know, I bought at 34 or whatever, and I had the chance at 1.
Yeah.
I think every time I would go and look at my bank account and my statements, even though, because they own Bitcoin, they're going to have money, they'd just kick themselves every single time.
My dad owned a Bitcoin at $1.
A Bitcoin?
Did he really?
No, Bitcoins.
How many?
Multiples.
Like he used
them. No, he used them back in the day to buy books off of a black market book website.
Oh no!
It's because at that point no one knew what it was.
No.
So it was kind of one of those things that he had a bunch of them and he had a wallet and all that stuff and he just used it to buy books. And then also, remember when Club Penguin was accepting it back in the day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So a lot of people probably had it and then ended up spending it.
That's rough.
Could you imagine spending your retirement on Club Penguin by accident?
That's rough.
That's really rough.
Oh, man.
Guys, if you're enjoying today's stream, make sure to smash that like button. We don't have a single dislike on this video, which now that I've said that, I know 2 or 3 of you guys out there that think you're funny are going to dislike it. But if you're enjoying today's stream, smash that like button, consider subscribing to the channel, hit that post notification bell, and make sure to share this stream with someone that you think might find value out of it. We have one more point that we want to make here. And that is over here in this article before we move on to that UK news. All within a climate of extreme fear. This is a great way to wrap out this article, and I'm very thankful that Cointelegraph did it this way. Even on the back of 5% daily gains, sentiment around Bitcoin is still firmly fear-driven. You guys can see the fear and greed index down here is sitting in between 10 and 20 right now, depending on which exact day you measure it. But there is a massive amount of fear. Underscore that word. Massive, massive, massive fear right now. People are so scared. And they really shouldn't be. In the same time that we are seeing extreme fear, we are seeing fundamental shifts, the likes of which we've literally never seen before. We have never seen a difficulty drop this large. We've never seen Bitcoin mining become more decentralized this quickly before. We've never seen an entire nation, and maybe even a second one coming up pretty soon, adopting Bitcoin. We've never seen these kind of things happening. But there's so much fear in the market. And before we move on to our next segment, because I do want to get to this news about the UK and Binance, I want you to remember that it's during these times that people make a lot of money. Yeah. Most billionaires who have been billionaires during the 21st century became billionaires during the 2008 financial crisis or during the 2001 stock market crash or during the dot-com bubble. You know why? Because as everything was shaking up, there was a lot more opportunity for them to reach out into the market and grab some for themselves. And I don't want you to miss that, because during downturns, that is when you have the biggest opportunity that you'll ever have to make a lot of money. Yeah. It is incredibly easy to make money on a Shopify store, or Amazon FBA, or something like that, or selling books or washing cars during a bull market when everybody's flush with cash. They're just trying to find a way to spend it. The truer test of an entrepreneur or an investor is, how do you survive and how do you do during a market downturn? Remember, those are your greatest opportunities to not only prove yourself, but also take advantage of market climate that you're not going to see very often.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
So with that said, guys, I want to read a couple of super chats real quick, and I also want to see what you guys have to say about all of that.
Unless I'm wrong, I think we only have one.
We have one,
it is from Simon Hansen. He said, "What do you guys think about the fact that Bitcoin has followed the Wyckoff chart almost a bit too perfect, and the small amount, and small about the accumulation chart LTS?" I broke apart there at the end, but I think he's ultimately asking, what do you guys think about the fact that Bitcoin is sticking pretty darn close to that Wyckoff accumulation? Again, that was the debate for a while. Were we still in a Wyckoff distribution, which would have us plummeting down maybe even below that 20,000, or are we actually in the accumulation phase? I am of the persuasion we are in the accumulation. What's hard about it, though, is, we have stuck to it close-ish. We followed the rules of it. And those rules I'm still learning to know for certain. However, the question is, have we hit that spring or not? I'm tempted to say maybe. Like, we did get back down. We even though we have lower wicks of candles, this last weekend was the lowest the candle bodies made it. Is that enough right there around 30,000? Is that the spring? I do not know. I think potentially that spring could be closer to 24, 25. I don't know, though. Hopefully, I would love for this to be the spring. But to answer that question from Simon, it is pretty crazy how close we stuck to it. Oh, we just got another one.
Yep.
How close we actually stuck to it. I am hoping that this is what actually launches us. Although there's a lot of speculation, we might not be out of the woods yet in the accumulation phase. We shall see.
2 questions in chat. Bob Hayes, Jeb, what's your biggest crypto coin hodl? That would be Bitcoin, followed closely by Ethereum. And Aussie Todd just donated 5, I assume, Australian dollars. What are you laughing at?
I missed, because earlier in the chat I saw stuff about dad jokes.
Yeah.
So I missed what started it.
Oh, I posted a dad joke. You want to hear it?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me hear it.
Have you ever noticed how a mosquito can fly, but a fly can't mosquito?
Yeah. Yeah.
Boom! Let's go. I love dad jokes.
So you guys want to hear? You want to hear a funny one?
What's up?
You ready? Why did the girl blush when she opened the fridge?
Why?
Because it was a naked man hiding in her fridge.
Do you have a cricket sound effect?
No.
Okay, you should get
one.
one.
I don't know what kind of joke that was.
That was weird.
That was weird. No, Aussie Todd said it takes guts to be an organ donor.
I know. That was funny.
Hashtag burn the truck.
Hey, have you guys? That was good. Have you guys ever thought about why koalas aren't considered bears?
Because they don't have the qualifications.
You ruined it.
That's a pretty old joke.
What? I know it is, but they might not
If
have
you
known.
guys hadn't heard that joke before, I am sorry.
Bro,
but-
I have told that joke to like 20 people in the
Well-
last 3 weeks, and none of them have ever heard it.
Actually, guys, it's because they're in a different genus.
Actually, it's because they're
Yeah,
marsupials.
Yeah, that's the other side of that. Yeah.
Because they're marsupials. Yeah,
Gosh.
there you go.
All right. Anyway, back
Anywho,
to,
moving on
back
here,
to
we're going to go
crypto.
ahead and talk about Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, and how it just got banned in the United Kingdom. I don't know. The United Kingdom, I don't know. They don't want Binance, I suppose. Britain's Financial Conduct Authority said that Binance Market Limited is not permitted to undertake any regulated activity in the United Kingdom. From June 30th, Binance must notify UK users of the FCA's restriction in a prominent place on its website and apps. In the latest sign of growing crackdown on the cryptocurrency market from regulators around the world, they have moved to ban Binance. Cryptocurrency exchange Binance has been banned from operating in the United Kingdom by the country's market regulator in the latest sign of growing crackdown on the cryptocurrency markets around the world. Britain's Financial Conduct Authority said Saturday that Binance Market Limited, the United Kingdom division of Binance, is not permitted to undertake any regulated activity, and from June 30th, they must tell people that they're not allowed to do that. Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange by trading volume, was set to launch its own digital assets marketplace in Britain. However, is one of several crypto firms that withdrew applications to register with the FCA due to not meeting anti-money laundering requirements. Those AML laws will get you. The FCA spokesperson clarified that the scope of the ban was limited. Though Binance Market Limited is banned from offering regulated services in Britain, non-registered firms can still act with UK customers. That means Binance could still offer Brits crypto trading through its website. Binance tweeted this: "We are aware of a recent report about the FCA UK notice in relation to Binance Market Limited. BML is a separate legal entity and does not offer any products or services via the Binance.com website. This is why it's important to dig deep into articles and make sure you're getting everything, because this is a little bit different than what everybody's trying to tell you." A Binance spokesperson told CNBC, "The FCA UK notice has no direct impact on the services provided on Binance.com. Our relationship with our users has not changed. We take a collaborative approach in working with regulators, and we take our compliance obligations very seriously," the spokesperson added. "We are actively keeping abreast of changing policies, rules, and laws in this new space." The FCA stated that Binance is not permitted to conduct regulated activities in the UK. Financial analyst at AJ Bell said via email, "Providing access to cryptocurrencies itself is not a regulated activity, but offering derivatives is, which is presumably the activity the FCA is cracking down on." So this is a very important distinction. Cryptocurrencies themselves and derivatives are two completely different things.
Yeah.
An ETF is an example of a derivative. An index fund typically is an example of a derivative. A derivative is like me saying, here's a sticky note, it's worth 1 Bitcoin, pay me $34,000 for it, and you can trade it, and then there's going to be some centralized entity that makes sure that this sticky note is actually always traded for $34,000 or whatever the spot price of Bitcoin is. Somebody said derivatives are stupid. I agree with you, because derivatives globally make up nearly a $2 quadrillion market. I'm serious. Derivatives are a massive, massive market, and it's the exact same problem that the rest of the financial industry operates in. The reason is because you have built fake value on top of nothing. It's a fiat version of an asset. That's all it is. I don't like derivatives. I try not to trade derivatives. I try to trade the actual thing. So the scope of this is that it looks like, I don't think any of this is confirmed yet as far as what exactly the FCA is going about. It looks like the FCA is talking about derivatives on Binance, such as some of those derivative stocks that they were talking about offering, some different products that Binance offers. But for the majority of it, it looks like Binance.com and their normal trading activities are still online. So part of the reason I want to bring this article up is, yes, I know you guys were interested in it, but I also want to clarify that so that you guys weren't being misinformed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So sum all that up, and I've seen a lot of people commenting in chat, so there's a lot of questions there. It is not banning trading crypto. It's actually talking about the futures options, the derivatives. So it is not. Yeah, that headline is scary.
Yes, it
UK
is.
bans Binance.
Yeah.
And make you think that it's all over there, but that's not necessarily the case.
And guys, this is why you got to be careful, because it is really tempting to roll out of bed in the morning and do exactly what I do. So I'm just as guilty of this as everyone else. Roll out of the bed in the morning, swipe through your phone, say, "Oh, UK bans Binance. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go about my day." And now UK has banned Binance, and Binance just doesn't exist in the United Kingdom anymore.
Yeah.
You got to be more careful than that, because those headlines will deceive you, and if you're not vigilant, you will have misinformation in your mind. You've got to be very careful about that. That's why we try and go into detail on these articles. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and move on here. I want to talk a little bit about Robert Kiyosaki, and then we're going to spend the rest of the stream doing some technical analysis.
That sounds good.
Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, one of the most talked about financial authors in the last 25 years, has come out and said something very encouraging about Bitcoin. Entrepreneur Robert Kiyosaki believes that the biggest crash in history will arrive soon, and only Bitcoin, gold, and silver can help live through those hard times. Author of the popular Rich Dad, Poor Dad book on financial literacy, Robert Kiyosaki has taken to Twitter to announce the upcoming biggest crash in history once again this month. Bitcoin, according to him, is one of the assets that may help endure the hard times in the near future. The others are gold and silver. The best time to prepare for a crash is before the crash. No duh. The biggest crash in world history is coming. That's a bold statement. The good news is the best time to get rich is during a crash, which is exactly what I was saying. If you are positioned in a place where you can take advantage of a massive stock market crash during all the shakeup, while all the pieces are in the air, you position yourself to make sure they land in a good spot for you, you can make a lot of money. Bad news is the next crash will be a long one. Get more gold, silver, and Bitcoin while you can. Take care. Previously in June, You Today reported that Robert Kiyosaki shared his take on the announcements of further financial stimulus made by the U.S. government in March. Besides, some U.S. lawmakers have proposed a rollout of the fourth round of survival checks. One of Bitcoin's biggest virtues against the U.S. dollar and other fiat currencies is that no more additional Bitcoin can be issued apart from the 21 million programmed 21 million coins. So, I challenged you guys earlier to say in less than a tweet why Bitcoin is valuable. Bitcoin is valuable because it has a limited supply, therefore it can store wealth into the future, and it is backed up by a decentralized nature that defends it. That's why Bitcoin is valuable. I think that was under 280 characters. I have no idea. The point is, you want to be able to sum it up pretty quickly. The reason that Bitcoin has value, just like gold and just like silver to a lesser extent, and Robert would probably agree with that, but very similar to gold, is that it has a very, very predictable and low supply. The reason that's valuable, you hear all the time about people saying, oh, we're printing the U.S. dollar into oblivion. It's going to inflate the economy. It's going to inflate the U.S. dollar. It's going to bring down the value of your dollar. That's because the U.S. dollar does not have a limited supply. Whenever something has a limited supply, it can have value. Look at a supply and demand curve. If the supply can just explode into oblivion, if the supply can just go wherever you want it to go, then the price is naturally going to go down. If I had 10 computers, would I value each one of them as much as I value this one computer? No, because I have 10 of them. You know, I wouldn't be as careful with them because I don't value each individual one as much. But if I only have one, I'm going to take good care of it because I don't have a backup. Have you ever noticed when you were a kid and you were 12 and you got like a toy truck that was worth like $5? You took care of that thing, right? You didn't want that to break because you didn't have any money to go and get another one. Nowadays, we're adults. I'm like, oh, I can go buy all the toy trucks I want or whatever it is. You don't value things quite as much if you have a lot of money because it just isn't that valuable compared to how much value you have. That's the problem with printing the US dollar. That's the problem with printing fiat currencies, and that's why Bitcoin has value, is because it has a limited supply that is hard capped and supported by the decentralized network that is the blockchain of Bitcoin. I'm very happy to see Robert Kiyosaki say this. I am interested in, Tim, your take on his prediction of a very big and long crash.
Well, I agree with somebody. There was a comment earlier, and I'm trying to scroll and find it, but I can't find it. But ultimately what they're saying is, and there's that word again that I say quite often. What they're saying is Robert Kiyosaki is a great person to look at to learn how to handle money. He's great at investments and time things. He is not the greatest indicator of what is happening with world economics. This call is probably outside of his bounds of what he's able to do with a lot of accuracy. So I'm kind of in the same boat there. I think Robert Kiyosaki is great at helping teach people how to handle their money. I think his advice is solid. I think he is right in the sense that we are seeing fiat currencies every single day get lower and lower and lower in value. But to predict a massive crash, he could be right. Here's the thing, though. I think if he is right, I don't think. All right, so I've said this story before. I was told by somebody to get into Bitcoin back when Bitcoin was at, I think, $3,000 was where I was. Now, I do not regret not getting into Bitcoin because the reason the person gave me was not a solid reason. Now, do I wish I'd gotten in Bitcoin at $3,000? Absolutely. but I do not regret not getting into it for the reason he said so. And the same way, if Robert Kiyosaki is correct, I think, okay, that's interesting, but I don't think Robert Kiyosaki is the guy who is able to accurately call those kinds of crashes. I don't think people should make financial decisions based off of a crash being predicted by Kiyosaki. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's one thing that we talk about a lot here on the channel is don't follow people blindly. Just because they're rich and famous does not mean that they're perfect. Just because they show up in news articles or they have a YouTube channel or they're on television does not mean that they're perfect. It doesn't mean that they're infallible. You know, one of the things I really, really hate about financial media is whenever I see an article or a post and it says, this person perfectly predicted the 2008 financial crisis, and now he says this. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know? The weatherman predicted there was going to be a hurricane coming through today. There was not one. That's fictional, but you get my point, you know? Just because you get one prediction right does not mean you're going to get everything right. Now, that being said, some people are far more skilled at that than others. I'm not discounting people that are very, very skilled in predicting the future based on technicals and fundamentals. I'm not discounting that at all. But don't just follow someone because they're famous. Don't do that.
And the other thing about this is Robert Kiyosaki is someone who pops up in the news from time to time, but the reason why he's popping up right now is because he's saying something that prints like articles. Like people want to post. I think at the end of the day, what's happening is the news stations are running out of things to talk about because they keep looping back to China and more FUD there, and they keep looping back to Elon Musk, and they're like, let's find somebody else to talk about. And so it's like, hey, Robert, we haven't talked to you in a minute. Let's see what you have to say.
Yeah, he's always showing up in the news. Hey, look, I like Robert Kiyosaki. I like him. I
do too. Yeah.
I like a lot of people. I'm just not going to follow them blindly. With that said, we are going to go ahead and do some technical analysis. Are there any other super chats that we can read?
There was one, I think.
I think there was one.
From John L. And I'm not 100% certain what he's talking about because maybe Taylor, I think he's talking about my wife. I don't remember Taylor saying this, but he says IRRC. Don't know what that means.
If I recall correctly.
If I recall. Okay, that's a good abbreviation. I didn't know that, though. Tim's wife is bullish on BNB. Correct me if I'm wrong. If they do their annual burn to 100 million, shouldn't everyone scoop BNB? So as far as my wife being bullish on BNB, I know that, well, she might held a little. She was bullish on a lot of things that she has since changed her mind on.
Yeah, I was going to say, she was on the stream.
She was on the stream.
Did she talk about Binance?
It was more than a month ago, dude. It was.
I wasn't here. Someone else was hosting.
That wasn't when I was here. That must have been the time that I was gone and she came on the show with you guys.
Oh, both of us were gone.
No,
we haven't done a stream when you and I were.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Oh. Either way, she at one point was bullish on SafeMoon. She really wanted to get into Doge and Shiba Inu. I was able to talk her out of that one. I was not able to talk her out of Safe. I think she actually technically still holds SafeMoon.
I told her to take her principal out, and I think she did.
I think that's what she ultimately did. I think they put like $25 into it, and she's like, let's just ride. If I lose it, I lose it. If I make $1 billion, I'll make $1 billion, you know?
Yep.
But Binance, I don't actually know if Taylor has a firm opinion on that. As far as the rest of that question, though, Jeb, I think that one is one that you could answer, is if they do their annual burn of 100 million, shouldn't everyone scoop up BNB?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's always, maybe. I'm not a Binance investor. I don't do a ton on Binance anymore. I use a different platform called Bybit, which you should check out. Links in the description box down below. I think Binance Coin's a fantastic option. I don't really have too much of an opinion on that because I haven't been following that. I didn't know they did 100 million burn. There's only 154 million Binance in existence, I think, so I'm not exactly sure how that works. I know they're not burning 2/3 of their supply, but nevertheless, maybe it's $100 million is what it was. Might have been $100 million.
I don't know.
What he's talking about. I don't know if he means $100 million Binance coin or $100 million. $100 million is not that much for the $44 billion market cap.
It wouldn't be that. It would have to be their cap, like their.
Yeah.
Kind of look.
I don't know.
You can keep going, and we'll see what they have.
Either way, we're going to go ahead and move on to some technical analysis here on Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and jump into it, guys.
Oh, he's talking about circulating supply because at the moment they're 153 million.
Well, I know they're not going to ban 2/3 of their. They're not going to burn 2/3 of their supply.
That's what I mean, okay, I don't know. I'm just saying that's what he's saying.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to burn.
That's a decent amount.
That's $25 billion.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yep.
Don't burn it. Give it to me. I'll take it. You know, I'll trust me. I promise I won't spend it if you give it to me now. Anyway, guys, Bitcoin over the last couple of months, as you know, has been in a major correction, and we have seen some very interesting movement over the weekend. If we look out here to the daily chart, you guys can see Then we tried to push all the way down to $30,000, and we quickly got bought back up. Within 36 hours or so, we rallied all the way back up to where we are now at roughly $34,500. But an important level of resistance has been touched. That is the 20 daily exponential moving average. We have also set a very strong horizontal level of resistance here at $34,800. Down on the 4-hourly chart, you can see it as well. It's close up here to $35,000. We have tested this twice now, and there's actually a very interesting pattern showing up that we're going to talk about here in a second down on the short-term charts. But $35,000 has quite a lot of touches here. Namely, it has a very recent touch just this morning, around midnight this morning on the 28th of June, we touched $35,000. Around 8, 9 o'clock at night, we saw on June the 24th, we touched $35,000. We also found support on it here on the 19th of June and the 12th of June, and we found tons of support back here in the very end of May. $35,000 is a critical level of resistance on this market, and anyone who is trading Bitcoin should most certainly be aware of it. Now, there is an interesting pattern showing up here, and it is none other than the pattern that is actually coming out to the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy this Friday.
Yeah.
And it's called a cup and handle formation. So, for any of you guys who don't know what a cup and handle formation is, well, let me show you an example. Right here, you can see that we have this little formation. It's called a cup, because it looks like a cup. And then, generally speaking, at the end of these, what you'll see is you'll rally from this top right back to the top, set the exact same level of resistance, then you'll go into a descending trading channel like this, and then from there you'll break to the upside, and then you'll have this little handle over here. This is the handle part of the cup and handle formation. Then you'll break to the upside, break $35,000 in this case, and then you will rally. Now the question on the books now is, are we going to do that? We're following a cup and handle formation, but is that cup and handle formation going to play out, and is it going to result in a break above $35,000? That's the million-dollar question. I lost all my indicators here because I was doing a video for C22A, so I got to bring them back up. But if you look here, we can see that we actually have a pretty decent spike in volume over the last couple of days. We saw a major green candlestick here just yesterday, and we're currently riding the 20 exponential moving average using it as support. So that means that we're finding support down here on the 1 hour, but also remember that 20 daily EMA is riding right down around here. So in a sense, we have a very strong level of resistance, meaning a very strong level of support. $35,000 is seeing what we would call convergence of support. Excuse me, convergence of resistance, I'm sorry. What that means is that we're seeing multiple levels of resistance come together, and when you see that, think about it like this. The strength of all those resistance levels are adding on top of each other. If one of them has, if you're a gamer, I'll use hit points as an example. If one of them has 100 hit points and the other has 100 hit points, they come together and they probably, when they join together, probably have like 150 hit points. You know, there's diminishing returns, but they get stronger because they're sitting right on top of each other, so it becomes harder to break through them and rally to the north of them. That's what we're seeing happen right now on Bitcoin. We're seeing convergence of resistance. We need to see Bitcoin break that, but because all of that resistance is converged at a very similar point in space, if we break it, we're probably going to see a major rally because we just broke all of the resistance. If you see that happen, then it's something that you want to pay attention to. Here's another thing to look at. We have quite a few moving averages of resistance up here as well, and if we do break to the upside, these are likely some of the targets that we will hit, probably around $37,000. Then we're going to have a flat level of resistance here just over 40, and then there's also some resistance up here in the mid-45s, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. If we look at the RSI and the MACD, we can see the MACD has broken bullish. This is a good sign for anyone who is looking for a rally on Bitcoin, and we've also seen that the RSI is trending to the upside. One thing I also want to point out is how there's an uptrend on the support level down here on the RSI. That might be very useful. We don't see any RSI divergence at the moment, not at least that I can see, but we do see that RSI is trending to the upside. The volume today isn't great, but you know, the day isn't over. The MACD is crossing bullish. We're right below resistance that needs to break. Bitcoin is in a spot where it's going to be difficult for it to break the resistance, but it is most certainly possible. And if it does, expect a rally up close to $37,000, $38,000, even closer to $40,000. That's my prediction, but that does all hinge on Bitcoin being able to break confidently with volume above that $35,000 region. If it starts doing that, then you're going to want to pay close attention to what comes of that. So I'm going to wrap out the TA there. Tim, do you have any thoughts on Bitcoin?
No,
I know you've been doing some analysis on it.
That's what I was looking at this morning. You know, a lot of questions there with those support levels, or sorry, not support, resistance levels. Obviously, one staying around the 35-ish. You know, we have some 35, 36 area. Then again, we have to then break through 37. If we can break through 37, There's some clean lines all the way to 40.
Yep.
However, we will see if we even get through the 35. But we're going to be giving our weekend price predictions here in a couple of minutes, so it'll be very interesting what we do with that. But let's also do some Ethereum technical analysis, because here's what is interesting: is Ethereum has been doing pretty poorly against Bitcoin, but as of the last day or so, the weekend we saw some bullish movement on Ethereum in comparison to Bitcoin. So I know a lot of people are interested.
Yeah.
Are we going to be seeing Ethereum potentially bounce back, especially with the London fork coming? We are almost in July, and July is the month that the London fork with EIP 1559 is dropping.
Yep.
So I think a lot of people are interested there.
So with that said, guys, let's go ahead and move on to some Ethereum technical analysis. Any questions you have, drop them in the chat, and we'll get back to you. Bitcoin and Ethereum have been in major corrections over the last 6 weeks, but we are potentially seeing a recovery on both of them. This is what my chart looks like on Ethereum at the moment. You can see there's a strong zone of support in between $1,390 and $1,530, and there's a strong zone of support in between $1,900 and $2,000. Unfortunately, for Ethereum, we broke below that zone of support, and right now we're attempting to get back up above it. By the way, I want to constitute where these came from. We saw this 1,390 support show up here on the 28th of February of earlier this year, and also it was set here in late January of this year. We also saw this bottom right here on March the 25th set support at $1,530, so that creates our zone in between roughly $1,400 and $1,530, and then we also have a strong zone of support in between $1,900 and $2,000 as set by these highs over here in mid-February and mid-March, and also some lows sat over here in mid to late May. Now what Ethereum is trying to do is it's trying to bounce and break above that zone of resistance, or excuse me, that zone of support that it recently broke below and turned into resistance, and it's in a very similar position that Bitcoin is in. It is just below a 20 exponential moving average, a very important trend indicator. If it breaks above that, then we have more or less confirmed that we're going back up into a secondary bullish trend. But that is going to require some very serious rallies over the next couple of days. One thing that might drive that is a bullish cross on the MACD. A bullish cross on the daily chart MACD for Ethereum might be what it needs to rally this market even farther, and the RSI is currently sitting at 42. It is rallying. There's not much to offer there as far as the technical analysis is concerned, but do pay close attention to that MACD. Another thing to look at is that the volume has been declining. That's not a very good sign, so we want to keep that in mind. But if we look at the TD sequential, and I believe this happened on Bitcoin too, so I want to bring this up. On Bitcoin and on Ethereum, we have seen a 9 flash, a green 9 flash, on the TD sequential. That indicates overextension to the downside. That indicates that we have pulled too far to the downside and we need to rally. That is a very good thing for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it does indicate that we might be about to see a new rally form. With the last couple of times that we've seen 9 flashes on TD sequential on Ethereum, we saw a green 9 flash here at the bottom on May the 23rd, and we rallied. We saw a red 9 flash here on May the 4th, and then we rallied until May the 11th, but then we went into a major correction. TD sequential is normally not ignored, and it would be unwise of us to assume that it's going to be any different this time. Now, we do want to keep in mind that just because one indicator says something, we're not just going to trade by that, but we do want to keep in mind that that is green. Let's take a look at Lux Algo, actually, really quickly and see what we're seeing here. I'm going to go in here to Lux Algo, and I'm going to turn on autopilot and see what we're seeing. Let's let this update. I feel like we might be about to see a buy signal. Nope, nothing so far. Lux Algo isn't showing anything at the moment, but if we go down here to the 4-hourly chart, I think it will as well. If we look at this, let's let it turn on. Not much. Called this top. Wow, look at Lux Algo here, dude. This is crazy. Look at this. Sell order right there, and we've still been in sell ever since. That is a fantastic indicator. If you were interested, the link is in the description box down below. Drop a 1 in chat if you've been using Lux Algo. We've had a lot of you guys sign up for, and you guys seem to be really loving it. I use it on my technical analysis when I'm off camera, and it's really very helpful. If it's something you're interested in, I'm actually dropping a video in CT2A in 2 weeks going over everything in Lux Algo, so check the link in the description down below for that. You can get 20% off by using coupon code JEB, J-E-B-B, at checkout. Anyway, guys, as far as Ethereum is concerned, we see some bullish indicators, but we also saw that we broke bearish out of this symmetrical triangle pattern. We found support down here. The question now on everyone's mind is, will we be able to bounce here, and will this RSI divergence that I'm about to show you be able to support Ethereum? We see a downtrend on the levels of support here on the 22nd of June and the 26th of June, but we see an uptrending level of support here on the RSI between the 21st of June and the 26th of June. That is bullish RSI divergence, and just like TD sequential, bullish RSI divergence is rarely ignored by the market. So you don't want to ignore it either. If we're seeing bullish TD sequential and bullish RSI and a bullish MACD cross coming up in the next couple of days, there's a very strong chance that Ethereum might be about to go back into a rally, attempt to break the 20 daily EMA, and break higher from there. Tim, I know you have some thoughts on that. Where do you think it's going next?
What I had, I don't know if you drew it up there because, again, I'm seeing everything you guys see in a 30-second lag. So I want to make sure I'm not repeating him. But did you draw on there? Did you see that Ethereum was in a downward wedge ever since, I would say, around the 8th of June? You can definitely draw that on there. We just broke up bullish out of it.
Yep.
When you move to the fundamental side of why I think Ethereum is about to rally is because Ethereum has been sticking to Bitcoin pretty close. Now, there's some variation there. We've seen sometimes it go a little bit lower than Bitcoin, sometimes a little higher. I think overall in the short term, which is what a lot of people were saying is that Bitcoin's been outperforming Ethereum short term. However, it does stick with Bitcoin. And if what is happening on Bitcoin, because it looks like we're developing a cup and handle formation over there, it looks like there's a lot of stuff coming out even fundamentally as far as institutions and countries getting involved there. We could see a price rise from what Safdie and Amos was saying with that low hash rate, but it allows the miners to make more money. All of this kind of converges into, are we about to see the whole crypto market rally? In which case, I think, and you're going to see my predictions, I think that Ethereum is going to have a nice little rally for a couple of reasons. One, I think from the technical analysis side, especially breaking bullish out of that descending wedge, that's one. Number two, it sticks to Bitcoin pretty closely. And then, I guess that's the same point, that Bitcoin looks like it's about to have a nice little rally as well. However, we will see this weekend what happens there. But that was the other one I was going to say is I saw it this morning too. The MACD, it looks like we are very close to a daily MACD cross. And I've done that before where if you go back and look at the history, I'm not saying Ethereum's going to hit a new all-time high, but we consistently see in Ethereum's past when the MACD cross is bullish, it's usually at least a 20% gain after that.
Yep.
So we will see what happens.
Yeah, guys, here's a pro tip for any of you analysts out there, which I assume most of you are. Whenever you see a major green candle body like this here on 1600 hours on UTC -4, so that's 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time here on June the 27th. That was yesterday on the 4-hourly chart. Whenever you see a massive green candle body like this, you normally broke some kind of major resistance level. Even if you don't see where the resistance level is, if you see a massive green candlestick like that, you probably broke something important because that is characteristic of a breakout formation. As Tim was talking about, we were in a descending trading channel right here, which, by the way, I didn't see. Kudos to Tim. Where'd you learn that?
CT2A.
Let's go. Yep. Sign up with the link in the description box down below. Give us a one if you like it. I don't know. Anyway, this descending trading channel, I'm joking, by the way. Well, I'm not joking, but I'm playing. This descending trading channel has been in effect ever since June the 7th. And we can see that it's constituted by these highs here on the 15th of June, the 20th of June, and the 24th of June on Ethereum. We also saw lows constituted here on the 8th of June, on the 12th of June, on the 22nd of June, and the 26th of June. Breaking bullish out of that is just another bullish sign that you should keep in mind if you're looking at buying Ethereum. That kind of rhymed. I don't know. Rhymed mind with buying? I don't know. Anyway, guys, we're going to move on. Tim, do we have any super chats?
We have one super chat. It was from Matt C.
Ooh, Matt C.
It's been a light super chat day. People are taking the day off, but Matt C is back on the chat. He says, I feel like people are underestimating Ethereum. I think it is going to have an amazing run the second half of the year. I agree. On this show, we have definitely, there's been times where I think people sometimes get confused and think that we are pooping on Ethereum because we're talking so heavily about Cardano, and obviously what Solana is doing is really big coming out, and I love those projects. But I think Ethereum, we've talked about this several times, there's a place for a lot. Like, they don't have to kill each other. They can coexist. They can continue to rally. We've seen that over this bull cycle already, that not just 1, 2, 3 projects went off the charts. It was a lot of them. And I agree with you completely, Matt C. I'm gonna scroll and make sure we didn't have any other super chats.
We actually have one good question here while you're looking from that from Mark Swain. So Mark Swain says this: I have Lux Algo, but don't fully understand how to use it properly. It seems that it gives a buy or sell signal after the fact. Is there a way to get notified prior to the move? So, Mark, since we've had several hundred of you guys sign up for Lux Algo, I'm going to take a second and answer that question. First thing I want to say is that I actually recorded a video that's going to be going up in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy 2 weeks from Friday. So not this Friday, but next Friday, that video is going to be going out. But you can also you can check out the link in the description box down below on Lux Algo's website. They actually have a breakdown of how to use everything. I can show you really quickly a couple of things that you might want to do. If we go back onto my chart, there are 2 different ways to adjust the settings in Lux Algo that you're going to want to use predominantly. If we come here to Lux Algo and I turn it back on, you guys will see that there's this sell signal right up here. It's a pretty solid sell signal, right? Here's what you want to do. Go into this settings icon. The first way you can set up these 2 indicators, these 2 numbers that you need to pay attention to, which is sensitivity, that's this number right here, and then confirmation signal agility right here. These are 2 numbers you need to pay attention to, is you can use this button right here called autopilot. It will automatically set the signals and the sensitivity. It'll automatically set the sensitivity and the agility the way that you want it to be. That's one way to find out how to configure this, but if you go into Lux Algo's actual Discord server over here, they also have something called OptiBot for different time frames, and this updates once a day for the 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1-hour, and 4-hour chart. And you can see this is useful for stocks, Forex, ETFs, and also crypto up here. And you can see on the 4-hour, for Bitcoin, it's telling me, actually, let's look at Ethereum. It's telling me use 26 on sensitivity and 32 on agility for the 4-hourly chart. So I'm going to come back to Ethereum. I'm on the 4-hourly chart. It told me to use 26 and 32. I'm going to type in 26. And I'm going to type in 32, and we're going to see what this does. So I'm literally just pulling from the Discord server. This is generated by, they have a ton of different algorithms in the background that set all this up. So this is being adjusted right now. There we go. And yeah, so it's actually very similar to what was already on here. So nothing really changed. But this is how you can go about updating your signals and your sensitivity and everything on Lux Algo. There's more information about that on their website and coming to CT2A, but that should help you a little bit.
No, even to follow that up, there's a comment in there saying, hey, like, yeah, no indicator can predict everything perfectly.
Absolutely.
The thing to remember about Lux Algo is it is an amazing indicator to add to your technical analysis. I think that you could make some money just using Lux Algo and not knowing anything else about technical analysis, but you would make way more and you would be a better predictor of what's happening if you not only knew how to read the market from a technical analysis standpoint and see things coming. It's more like Lux Algo is a help confirming indicator that you're in the right spot.
Yeah, no, seriously. And Hussein, let's see. Hussein said, you have any sources or proof in that? Good question.
Yeah.
I would not be promoting Lux Algo if it wasn't useful. Let me go ahead and prove that to you. If you go over to Lux Algo's TradingView page, you will find that TradingView themselves, the company that makes TradingView, they had their own developers go into Lux Algo's open source code, and they called it best in class. They said that Lux Algo was a best in class indicator, and in fact, Lux Algo has won several awards by TradingView for being such a good indicator. TradingView themselves says it is a good indicator. There you go. You can go and look at all their code. It's all open source. They do back testing on it. You can do back testing on it yourself. I've done some back testing on it. It works very, very well. There's a lot of different ways to do that. So it's a good question, but there's your answer.
Yeah, we have one super chat from Corey saying, most excited for Ethereum and VeChain's run the rest of the year.
Yeah, I don't know everything about VeChain, but I think that if Ethereum can have EIP 1559 roll out without a hitch, then I think we're going to be pretty well off. VeChain, like I said, I don't know a lot about it. I know about it. I don't keep up with it, put it that way. It's a good project as far as I can tell. But, look, guys, the altcoins have to follow Bitcoin. If Bitcoin isn't doing anything, the altcoins aren't going to do anything either. I don't see the altcoins just exploding unless Bitcoin does. However, it depends on whether or not Bitcoin rallies.
I don't think Hussein was talking about Lux Algo. I think Hussein was talking about Cardano. There's a little debate going in chat about ADA.
He might have been.
Yeah, but that was still a great answer, like to anyone who might have been wondering.
People do ask that, so I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and tell them.
Was there anything else that we had on this that you want to talk about today?
No, I think we've pretty much wrapped out everything.
So if that's it, then we can probably go ahead and do our
price predictions.
Price predictions for Friday. Again, Smays and mine are in, so I will allow Jeb to tell us all three of his.
All right.
So that there's no cheating whatsoever.
Let's do some predictions on camera. By the way, for everybody who joined the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy last week, drop a 1 in chat if you're enjoying it. We had a ton of y'all sign up for CT2A. We've been getting some great feedback. If you're interested, the link's in the description box down below. We're still uploading 10 new videos going out. The first one of those 10 went out last Friday, but check it out if you're interested. Everybody who signed up, I think you guys are enjoying it. Price predictions. Oh, gosh. Price predictions are hard. We do these for the sake of entertainment, just so you guys know. As far as Bitcoin is concerned,
yes,
I am thinking by the end of this week, Bitcoin is going to be $36,400.
36,400. This is great. All right, so just so you guys know, when we do these predictions, we're not like we're trying to get as close to it as we can, but obviously it's very volatile, so it goes all over the place. We are also taking into account trying to think about how the other two, make their votes. So this is a good vote. We're spread out this week. We're nice. Smay is what I thought. You know, he's a low guy, so he said 31,000.
He's a low guy.
He goes low on these predictions. So me knowing that Smay would go low and figuring Jeb would say somewhere in the middle. Jeb's prediction is pretty nice. I like mine too, but we'll see if I get the high. On the off chance Bitcoin does take off, though, I said 38,500.
Oh,
$38,500.
I might have an easy week.
We'll see.
There's a large range.
We'll see.
That I would win
that's the whole
at.
thing. Is if Bitcoin can break through that 37, which if it uses that cup and handle formation to do it would, and then it bounces between 37 and 40, which that's why I did 38.5. I was like, that's like that middle point in the bounce.
Yep.
We'll see.
Right
That's
now,
gonna be a fun week.
Bitcoin's really got to prove itself to me at the moment, because it's hit me hard recently.
I am not convinced yet. We've been talking about in chat. A little bit. People were saying, there's a second Wyckoff accumulation phase that it doesn't have to hit a spring. You're right. There's another option where it could do that. I think until it breaks 40, I don't know if we're going to if it's out of accumulation phase until it breaks out of 40.
Even
so right
higher,
now,
more like
41
42,
could
43.
Be a good guess, so.
Yeah, no, it could be. I like my guess. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. It's really funny. You saw me moving that horizontal line around. I have been doing this for so long that I get something called chart vision. I just kind of look at a chart, and based on everything, all the analysis I did earlier, I'm going to look at it, and I'm like, it's just a feeling at this point. That's how you know you've become very, very skilled at something, is when you can just feel it. And I just feel like Bitcoin is going to be somewhere around $35,000 to $36,500, somewhere in that region. Yeah. So the next one is Ethereum.
Ethereum. What you got for Ethereum?
Okay. All right. So, keeping in mind everything that we looked at today, let's see here. I kind of like having me do this on the spot. This is fun.
It's a little more interesting. And we already have our answers, because I did my TA this morning, and
I'm doing this on the spot. I have not pre-analyzed.
Smay uses a little bit of technical analysis and a little bit of pessimism, I think, is his recipe.
Yeah, he throws in a dash of pessimism.
But listen, that's for hashtag team burn the truck. That's what I like. If he goes a certain direction, I'll go the other, and we'll sandwich you.
Let's see.
Got 10 seconds. Go with your gut. Go with your gut, Jeb.
1999.
1999.
1999.
Oh my goodness, poor Jeb.
Someone said.
Well, I mean, you have a lot. Kind of poor Jeb. You have a lot of room to work with here, because Smay said 1975. So if Ethereum goes down, looks like a good day for Smay. If Ethereum hangs tight, good day for Jeb. However, and my reasoning for mine is because, again, Ethereum has been following Bitcoin pretty nicely. Let me make sure I write in Smay's nice right here. If Ethereum follows Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin does what I think potentially it could do and get to that, I think potentially Bitcoin could bounce its head off of 40 and then settle around that 38.5. In that case, I think Ethereum could bounce off of 25. So I put 2450.
Ooh.
So 2,000. Let me.
Okay.
2,450 for Ethereum.
All right.
Again, I'm expecting that we potentially, because it doesn't mean we're going to see our new all-time highs be hit. I think we might be hitting another top side of our accumulation. But we'll see. We'll try and find that. So last one is Cardano, and this one I know you haven't even done technical analysis on. So this one might, and not that it really matters, because Cardano kind of goes all over the place anyway. So what are your thoughts there?
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, man. I know you guys who are watching this probably have no idea what I'm doing. I'm like dragging charts around and everything, but I got my own method. Oh, gosh. This is so interesting. See, this is what I do before the stream anyway, so it's funny to put it on camera.
Yep.
30 seconds.
think we have, while you're doing that, we have a super chat here. You keep going. JD Park says, glad you guys just removed the mounding on the bottom of the trophy. Love you guys. I always start my day with you and the Bible. Thank you. That's a great start.
That's
to
a
the
great
morning,
start
JD.
to your morning.
Definitely the Bible, and then I'm not gonna say I would not put us on the same level as the Bible. So start with the Bible, and if you miss us, you still have a great morning. However, sorry, JD, the glue, we're gonna glue it back on. The glue came off, so we're gonna fix that. However, it is a great trophy. But there's a shout out to JD, his wife, and I believe JD. I think you said you had 5 kids. Shout out to your entire family. This is phenomenal. Did we ever take pictures of it so people can see all the intricate little details?
I don't know if we did.
Man, it's so cool. Just while you the different size. He has Crypto Jeb there. We got our scorecard in the back. Even here, he's got the different coins that we aren't necessarily the biggest fans of. Although one of them might need to be replaced. However, it's really funny. He's got all the paper hands here at the bottom. Thanos' glove or Thanos'. Yeah, it's a glove holding there's 6 coins on here: Polkadot, Cardano, Binance, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and VeChain. So very cool trophy here.
I'm gonna say something real quick.
Yes, man. What you got?
Guys, by the way, speaking of the Bible, see this hat right there?
Come
if
and
you
see.
haven't seen it, go watch The Chosen.
It's amazing.
One of the greatest shows I've ever watched.
So good.
Even if you don't believe in that stuff, it is still a great
still a
quality
freaking
show.
great show.
Please go watch that show.
Go watch it. It is incredible.
You got prediction for Cardano?
I do.
All right, let's see it.
It's $1.38.
$1.38.
I got a 38.
$1.38.
Coming in with a 38.
I saw someone there say 120. That's a fun prediction. Here's the thing. So Smay says $1.25. So again, we got it's a nice clean sweep, and my reasoning followed again. I would say, okay, Cardano doesn't always play by the rules, but if it decides to play by the rules and stick with Bitcoin and Ethereum, then I think it's going to get close up to. I think it's going to go above it and come back down to what I have is $1.50. So Jeb, you are the middleman this week, but the good news is there's a very wide gap between the top and the bottom, which this is a week that I don't think anyone is gonna get kind of knocked out early. I think anyone could win for sure. We got one more super chat here from Corey saying, could you guys one day go over how many bull cycles work in between the 4-year windows they typically come in?
Yeah, no, that's something that we're actually going to be covering in some future course content. I'll give you a brief rundown, and then we got to wrap it out. You have 3 major market movements. You have your primary movements, your secondary movements, and your tertiary movements. 1, 2, and 3. Your primary movements are those long-term bull markets that last many months on into years. Your secondary movements are those trends, as we generally call them, that last weeks to maybe a month or two. We're in a downtrend right now, but we're not in a bear market. We're in a secondary downtrend of a primary bull market. And then your tertiary movements, those are your daily price action. So that's a bit of a breakdown of that. Comes from Dow Theory. We got to wrap this out, guys. But before we go,
we got another super chat.
We got another super chat. Matt C.
Matt C said, I got a chance to meet a bunch of crypto enthusiasts at the Crypto Wendy O meetup this weekend.
Oh, there we go.
This is an amazing community. Let's crush it together. I agree with you, Matt.
Guys, like the stream if you want a Crypto Jeb meetup.
Yes, smash that like button if you would like a Crypto Jeb meetup. I would love to host that. Guys, there's a few more things I want to say before we wrap out. Number 1, if you haven't followed us on social media, you really should. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Crypto Jeb on both of those platforms. We're posting a ton of great content. Tim and Smay have a little bit of a series going on over on Instagram that's pretty funny that you're not going to want to miss out on. And also make sure to check out our TikTok. It's at Crypto Jeb Official. We're growing pretty quick over there. We've got some great content for you if you are interested in finding that out. And if you haven't already, make sure to sign up for our newsletter. The link is in the description box down below. Comes out every single Friday. And I have heard that people are really, really enjoying it. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you a thing. Yeah. And you will be getting up to date on everything that is going on in the cryptocurrency market. Am I forgetting anything, Snake?
Yeah, Jeb, what is the platform you use when you trade?
I use Bybit whenever I trade. The link is in the description box down below for that as well. And the reason I use it is because it is a fantastic platform that has great uptime, has a great user interface, has great customer service if you ever need them, and it does have leverage trading and shorting enabled for anyone who is interested in that. Keep in mind that those tools are dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, but if you are a skilled trader, you can make a lot of money using Bybit. The link's down below for that. It is hands down the best leverage trading platform, even just a trading platform if you don't want to use the leverage anywhere in crypto. So make sure to sign up for that. If you do, you'll be helping to support our channel while also getting access to a fantastic cryptocurrency exchange. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it out for today's video. Before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.